Hello everyone, this is the final project presentation for the group Yutong and Ruxin.
Ruxin will introduce the login and registration function and also our new button, and I will introduce Tic-Tac-Toe Game, also the emoji function. In the end, we'll also introduce possible improvements for our project.
In this project, we built a login and registration system based on Unit Project 3. We then added a two-player tic-tac-toe game and an emoji sending feature as built-in functions of the chat system. These enhancements are important because they make our chat system closer to real-world applications like WeChat. They also help us consolidate and applying the programming knowledge we've learned, encouraging goal-driven self-learning. The login registration function improves security by preventing users from impersonating others with the same username. The addition of emoji and online gaming enriches user interaction and makes the chat experience more engaging and fun.
So first, let's see the demo of our project.
The login, we add the password function. If someone is new, it cannot get into the app, and we will tell him or her to register at first. So they need to register, and when you type the password, it will turn to star to secure this information. So after registration, they can get in. So if the password and the confirmed password is different, it will tell user that passwords do not match. And if someone has already been registered, it will tell the user that the username already exists. Moreover, when someone's password is not correct, it will tell us that the wrong password and theirs will only have 5 chances. When the user exhausted all the chances, it will show that there's 0 attempts, and when they try it again, they were told them they do not have chances and exits the program. And there will have new files in the folder that shows the username, and also inside is the password. So after get in, we can see there's a lot of buttons. So when we click time, it can show us what is the time now. And when it's click who, it can see who is here. And when it's type the number of the poem, it can get the poem from the list. And also, we can try to get another users to get in. So now we can see if there's 2 players, they can connect with each other. So let's see. So when we type the name of the other and click connect, it just connects with each other. And now they can send a message to each other. You see, when Ruby send hello in Merida's window, it can have the message. And also they can send the emoji. And there also can send message. So now let's see the game function. So when it's connected and click game button, there will be 2 windows that came out. You can just type 00 is for the first line, first box. And you can see there's X in the first box, and it also turns to Ruby's turn. And when Ruby got its turn, and it said O in the middle, and it shows it's Merida's turn. So let's see what is getting the end. So when one player is win, it will show that player has already win. So when type buy, it can disconnect with the other person. It can see there. So after disconnect, it can back to individual function. Like when you have time, it can get time. Tap who, it also can get who, and you can see though it's disconnect with other players, it can also show him or her. And also now you can search I can search. There's a lot of chat history, so it's about the search function. And when you send some message, it will not be received by the other. And when you click quit, it will tell you are out and tell you see you next time. So that's mainly how it works.
I'll introduce the login and registration function. I divide this function into 2 parts. The first part is built in the GUI.py, which refers to the client side. And the second part is built in the chat server.py, which refers to the server side. And the packages I used includes threading, tkinter, and socket, select, and JSON. The socket and select is for TCP network communication. JSON is for structured data exchange. Threading is for concurrent message receiving in a client. And the most important one, tkinter and ttk message box, that are for GUI components and dialects. In the GUI.py, the functions I built includes these. The login function displays a login window with username and password fields. The show register opens a separate registration window. At the same time, go ahead sends login request and processes a server response. At last, handle register and send register request. They send registration information and processes feedback. Handle register pop up a message box showing the result of registration. Similarly, on the server side, the login and registration are handled within the server class. The design includes several key data structures and functions. For the key data structures, the userdb.json is a JSON file that's used for persistent storage for the NP dictionary. Self-logged name to sock, self-logged sock to name. They are dictionaries used to track current login users and their socket connections. What is specifically worth mentioning is self.np. Self.np is a dictionary that stores registered usernames and their corresponding passwords. And in the userdb.json we mentioned before, we stored information from self.np. And for the main functions, we have handle register, which is we have handle register. It is for checking if the client has registered for the same user name before. It will be triggered when the client sends registration request with the action named register. It will check if the username already exists in the self.np, and if not, it will add new username password pair and write in the uploaded dictionary to user db.json. Also, it will send back a status message which named exist or registered. The login function called the server's main loop when a new client sends a login or register message. It phrases a message. If it's a registration request, it passes it to handle register. If it's a login request, it will check if the username exists and password matches, verify the user is not already logged in. Once success, it will update logged name to sock and logged sock to name and the user session state. It will respond to a client with a login status, with OK, invalid user, invalid password, or duplicate. At last, there's a function named raw. For the new clients, it invokes login to process login or registration before letting them use other chat features. I will first introduce the part of registration. Here are a deeper look into how this code works and their development logic. So the first step for registration is to receive the command and pop up a window. First, the client clicks the register button here, and after that, it will, because the command connected to the button is self.show register, and it will call the function named show register. So after that, it will pop up a registration window. After that, the registration begin to execute. Client fills in the information and clicks submit button, and then it will call a function named handle register. This will check whether the password is consistent and start a new thread for registration process. As you can see, the last line, there's a thread function, thread method, and this is for the starting a new thread. And after this, the client side will send a registration messages to server. It will call the function send register request, which takes both name and password. It can send and receive messages directly with the server, without the participation of the state machine. Also, it will call function handle register response. In that function, the server executes messages from the client side. The server receives messages from GUI by function login. This function will identify the action, whether it's register or it's login. If it's a register, it will call the function handle register. The server checks duplication in registration, and if it's valid, it will save the user, otherwise it returns an error. After that, the server returns the registration result to the client side. And after that, we went back to the client side. Now it will show the registration results. The handle register response function received response from server, and it will pop up a message box to show the response. After introducing the registration, now we can talk about login. To start with login, the client fills the information and clicks submit button. And after that, the button is connected to a function, so it calls a function go ahead, which takes name and password. And in that function, it will first check if the attempt times is more than 5. If so, it will automatically exit the program. And after that, it will, if the attempt time is less than 5, it will send messages to server. And for the server side, it will take the name and password and discuss different cases, send messages back. As you can see, the cases include OK, duplicate login attempt, and the name is not registered, incorrect password. After the server sends a message back, the client side receives results, and it will pop up message box according to different cases. On the basis of the UP3, we have to talk about a main components, which is the buttons in this. Why is button so special? It is because its ability to call on functions. Basically, we write the functions after a command equal. If we need attributes for the function, we can add lambda, colon after command equal. If not, we don't need lambda. For example, you can see under the words no attributes, we can only write command equals and then we write a function name. However, with that, if the function needs to take attributes, we have to write a lambda and colon after the command equal. Besides, if we wanted to execute the function once the button is set, we can directly fill constants in the parentheses. Vice versa. If we don't want to execute it immediately, we fill in function. For example, we can fill the enter message get in the column, so it won't be executed immediately.
So in order to let our user have a better using experience, we add emoji. So first we add an emoji button, and there also a pop-up menu with tier of 0 to disable the menu separation. And the emoji, there's a lot of emoji that we listed here. And each emoji is added to the menu with a lambda command. And also, these two functions, so the first function is calculate the button screen position, and the insert emoji function is to handle the text field updates. So now let's move on to our game function. So firstly, we want to generally show our designs through like different files. So firstly, in GUI, we define like the game button, and also there's two functions. Include most important is the game proc, and also in the function proc, it also involves the game process. So in GUI, it actually not only serve as the function to implement the geographical interface, but also receive the user operations and servers return to update the whole interface. And for the game function, and for the game file, so it actually determines how this game is played. So it's mainly as the external function and check winner function. And this is actually manage the board state and also determine the game result. Yeah, and for the chat server, it serves as to receive the connection from the client and also manage the data. And in the state machine file, add the game state to the as-chatting state. So now, after knowing how we add the game in different files, let's look at it from another perspective. That is through the whole game process from the beginning to the end. Let's see how the game is being realized. Firstly, let's see the request of starting the game in GUI. So firstly, we need the game button to start the game. So we complete this button and also use a line to connect it with the game function. So what is special for our game button function is after click it, the game window will appear at the top, so which will be more convenient for the user to look at it. So for our game interface to be more beautiful, we change the color to purple. So next, let's look at the server process. So after client sends a request, the server actually needs to handle this request through this code. It is actually forwards the message to all of the members, and also after server forwards this, the client receive it. So the game proc function is actually a really important function because it's serve as like the command center for the whole game. So after receive the message of the other peer, it will convert it from JSON format to dictionary format and will show who sent this message. So after that, it actually have two situations, and now we are at the first situation, which is the beginning of the game. So it will change the game state and also determine the icon of each players, and it will update the group information. So next, we enter to the real game process. So during the game, it's actually have three steps. So the first step is the client sends a move. So the message being sent is actually a string representing a certain placement position, such as like 1, 2. So after being separated by spaces, it is converted into integers and then proceed by calling next turn function. And also the game icon need to be updated to the current user. And the second step is the server forward and move. And the third step is the client receive and update the chessboard. So this is fulfilled by the second part of game proc function. So this is during the game process, it will update the chessboard. So actually after every round, we need to check the winner to determine like whether the game is end or still need to continue. So how to check the winner is through this whole code. So to check the winner, we not only need to check rows and columns, so we also need to check the diagonals. It's also have another situation, which is when all the box is fulfilled, but it's still no winner, so we need to show that it's already tie. So if there's nothing happens, so it will return first, we continue the whole game. So actually, the check winner is serves us to continue or give the result. So the next turn function is actually takes the result of that, and to show interface, actually if it need to continue, it will show whose turns, and if it's end, it will show the winner, where it's just show it is tied. So that's how the whole game works. Next, I want to talk about the data format in the game. So throughout the process, the client and the server communicate via TCP sockets, and the message actually is encapsulated in JSON string format. So the JSON dumps actually change the dictionary to the JSON format, and in game proc, it actually changed the JSON formats to dictionary. So this data format is better for the cross-platform communication.
For the further improvement of the login and register system, I think there are a few aspects can be considered. First, I can consider to build a function that evaluate the password length and strings requirements, which can ensure the account security. Second, I can consider to encrypt passwords when storing them, which can ensure the password security locally. Also, I can add a function named login prohibition, which means after a user fails to log in 5 times, the login attempts will be prohibited for a period of time.
Next, I want to talk about the possible area for improving the game. So there's 3 functions that I think can add it to the game. So first is the viewing mode. So actually, to realize this, it's the in server, it can have like a message action equal to view, and it can create a separate viewing groups and continuously pushes the game status. And for the second one is I want to also set a single player games with computers. So this can be realized by first modify the client entry that added a single player mode, and also it can set different difficulty level. And the third one is the friend system. So actually to realize this, it's also need to have the interaction between the server and the client. So if client A wants to be friend with client B, client A will send this request to the server, and the server receives this request and also send this request to client B. And after client B agree, they can form a connection, and this connection needs to be stored in the database.
That's all of our sharing. Thank you.